You know when you're cooking, right? You're cooking, and depending on the type of meat you're cooking, if you're cooking chicken, if you're cooking certain meat, it's quick. But if you're cooking certain red meat, beef, lamb, it will taste more succulent if you slow cooking. That's how I see how we're playing right now, compared to how we started last season. The way we started last season is like we started fast, high pace. It's like the fire was so high, it was burning the food. All the food, all the chicken, all the egg, the scrambled egg was burnt. And we were happy. We were so happy because what? We get to eat very quick. When the food is done quick, we get to eat quick. But we see now, we're taking long to get the food to eat because it's been slowly cooking. But when it's finished, it'll be something that will be more pleasing to our taste buds. It'll be something that will be more gratifying for the body.
My fellow Gooners, I don't think Tottenham will be as easy to beat as we think. I've got some concerning stats. I've got some concerning news to tell you today. Let's just get straight into the stats because I've been hearing predictions that's, to me, sounds outrageous. I've been hearing we're going to beat Tottenham 5-0, 6-0, 4-0. But for me, I can't see that because the stats don't say that. The stats shows that Tottenham is going to be a very, very tough match. And when we get into the stats, we're going to see how much Tottenham has improved. I don't think we've been keeping tabs on Tottenham. I don't think we've been watching Tottenham the same way we've been watching City or Liverpool because I don't think we're that worried about them. But we're going to see that Tottenham is a team to be worried about, especially in this match, because they're going to come fired up. They're going to come with energy. They're going to come looking to dethrone us as the biggest club in London at the moment. So let's look at the stats. So first, we start off with the last formation, the last Premier League match formation. We see Tottenham had Pedro Porro. I believe he got injured in the match. I don't know if he's back as yet, but I've been hearing fans talking about him that he's going to be basically putting him in the starting 11 or the best 11 between both teams. So I believe he might be back from injury if everyone is putting him in their best 11. We see Christian Romero, and both of them have over 7.7 rating, 7.4, 7.3 respectively. We see Mickey Van de Ven, he got 6.5, the lowest stats for their team on that day. Destiny, they've got Sarr, they've got Bissouma, they've got Kulusevski getting the best ratings of the day with an 8.5. That's a brilliant number to be hitting. They got James Maddison at 8.2 and they got Manu Solomon at 7. Heung-min Son was playing striker with a 6.8 rating. For Arsenal, this is a big contrast because we see that the best they had was 8.5 Kulusevski, and the best we had for that day is 7.7, which is Declan Rice, and Benjamin White, which is also 7.7. We see David Raya with 7.4, Ben White 7.7, William Saliba 7.2, Gabriel Magalhaes 7.2, Zinchenko 7.3, Fabio Vieira 7.3, Declan Rice 7.7, Martin Odegaard 7.2, Bukayo Saka 7.4, and Ketia 7.5, and our lower rating for the day was Gabriel Martinelli, which is 6.4, and it was only because he got injured. But after Martinelli got injured and Trossard came on, Trossard was our highest rating at 7.9. So we see that Kulusevski has an 8.5 rating and our highest rating was Leandro Trossard, which is 7.9. But we don't see him on this picture here because he was a substitute. Now we get into the top 3 players for our teams for the first 5 Premier League matches of the season. We've got Bukayo Saka, Declan Rice and Fabio Vieira. Bukayo Saka with a 7.66, Declan Rice 7.52, Fabio Vieira 7.47. And James Maddison for Tottenham with a 8.1, Heung-min Son with a 7.72, and Romero with a 7.58. So we see James Maddison is on peak form for the first 5 matches of the season. He's on peak form, Premier League matches that is. He is on peak form, averaging over 8 for all 5 matches. That's a brilliant stat. Heung-min Son averaging a 7.72. So Tottenham's best 2 players are better than Arsenal's best team in average rating. Because if Saka is our best average at 7.66 and Maddison is 8.1, he's better than our whole team. His average rating is better, and so is Son. So Maddison and Son average is better than the entirety of Arsenal's squad for the first 5 matches. So even though we've been raving over Declan Rice, we've been raving over Bukayo Saka, we've been raving over Fabio Vieira, Tottenham has been quietly cooking. Tottenham has been quietly doing their job with their players getting good ratings. And we see that most of the times the stats don't matter, but I've been seeing recently the stats have been backing up the league position. The stats have been backing up the best player of the season. The stats have been backing up all these things. So we have to take these stats very, 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 very importantly, because we're going to, as Tottenham's defender, Romero, got the 3rd best rating for the first 5 matches. That shows you that they've got that shows you that they're attacker. Son, they're striker. Sometimes he's a winger for them. Sometimes Richarlison plays striking, but they alternate between the two. So we see that their attacker is better than ours. Now we can argue that yes, Gabriel Jesus was out injured. He just came back and came back in the second half for the previous match. So these are debatable points. But we see that midfield, James Maddison got 8.1, and we see that our captain Martin Odegaard is not even on the list. Martin Odegaard, I believe, was 5th or 6th for Arsenal, the best average for the first 5 matches, and we've been raving about Odegaard. But right now, the stat shows that Maddison has been better. Yes, the eye test shows us that Odegaard is improved. He's playing brilliantly. He's our captain. He's playing a captain role. But have we been noticing Tottenham? Have we been watching Tottenham the same way we've been watching Martin? Have we been watching James Maddison the same way we've been watching Martin Odegaard? So I've been hearing lots of Tottenham fans putting James Maddison in the team, putting Heung-min Son into the best 11 between both teams, putting Romero in the team, and I'm saying, what's wrong with these guys? Why are they so gassed? I don't understand why they believe that their players are so good, but when I check the stats, I have to agree with them. As an Arsenal fan, I have to agree with them. I'm not a biased fan. I talk facts, I talk stats, I talk evidence. I speak evidence-based, and the evidence shows that James Maddison, Son, and Romero are quality players for the first 5 matches. So we have to be careful. Don't have blind faith. Don't be naive as fans. We have to take a look at the stats and be humble when we see these stats, because they're going to play good. They can't be having these stats for 5 matches and then when they come to Arsenal, it's like they throw it through the window. And we see that their manager is also very good. So he's going to get them to play the way he wants them to play. Now I can hear your voice saying, well, that's their stats, but they might have an easier running for the first 5 matches than we did. Let's take a look at it. Arsenal played Nottingham Forest. We won 2-1. Tottenham played Brentford, which is a better team than Nottingham Forest, and draw 2-2. They drew 2-2. We won 2-1. And we see that match we played very well, but the scoreline is not as convincing as I wish it would be. It would have been. We see Crystal Palace. We beat Crystal Palace 1-0. Having a red card. Tommy also got sent off. We still beat them. Once again, for me, that wasn't convincing. Tottenham beat Man United 2-0 in that same week. We played Fulham, draw 2-2, with Fulham got a man sent off early on in the second half, I believe, and we still draw 2-2. Tottenham beat Bournemouth 2-0. So far, Brentford is better than Nottingham Forest. Crystal Palace and Tottenham and Man United. Man United is better than Crystal Palace, but however, Crystal Palace might be playing better than Man United right now. Fulham is better than Bournemouth. Then the next match we had was Man United, which Tottenham beat. So let's quit out Man United. Yeah. Tottenham had Bournemouth and Burnley. So we had Everton and Tottenham had Sheffield United. So let's see. Tottenham had Sheffield United and Burnley. I believe those two are regulated. They're going to be regulated. So that leaves. So forget about those two teams. Forget about Everton for us. Even though I believe that Everton is better than Burnley and Sheffield United. So forget about Everton. Forget about Burnley and Sheffield United. Yeah. Forget about Man United for both teams. So that leaves Brentford for Tottenham and Bournemouth for Tottenham, which leaves Nottingham Forest for Arsenal and Crystal Palace for Arsenal and Fulham. So I believe that out of those three, we played against better opposition. Comparing those, Tottenham had Brentford and Bournemouth. We had Forest, Crystal Palace, and Fulham. I believe that all those three matches, when you compare them with Tottenham 2 matches, the only one there is Brentford. That was difficult, and they drew it. They didn't win. But we see that our 3 matches that we draw 1 and won 2, it was more difficult than Bournemouth. So potentially one could argue that, listen, our 5 running was a lot harder than Tottenham, because Tottenham is playing Sheffield United and Burnley, which is going to be regulated. And I believe that we're going to face one potentially regulated side, which is Everton. And even so, Everton is still better than Burnley and Sheffield United. So we can say that, okay, that's justifiable to say that, okay, Tottenham played lower teams than we did. Let's take a look on the team of the week, because this doesn't lie either. The team of the week shows the best performing players for that particular week. So the first week, we had Bukayo Saka in the team. There weren't no Tottenham player. Remember, Tottenham played Brentford and drew against Brentford. We played Nottingham Forest and beat Nottingham Forest, and Bukayo Saka got the goal, a brilliant finish in the top left-hand corner. So Saka had a rating of 8.2. Week 2, we see Tottenham didn't have a player. Actually, Tottenham had a keeper. Their keeper was in the team of the week, Vicario. And we had William Saliba. So we see in the third week, we could see 1 Tottenham player, no Arsenal player. So this is the third week, yeah? No Arsenal player, 1 Tottenham player, and that's Romero. That's Romero, and Tottenham played Bournemouth. Now in the 4th week, we see that Tottenham had 3 players, and these 3 players had an outstanding stat. We see Romero at 7.8, Maddison at 8.2, but the man of the hour for Tottenham, that is, because we see Ivan Ferguson got a 9.7. I believe that's when he scored the hat-trick. Son had 9.2. That's a brilliant rating. When you see players in blue, you know that they're grimy. You know that they've been playing grimy for that weekend, right? And Son was included in the top 3, which is Ferguson and Haaland. Son made the top 3. So for the round 3 and round 4, Tottenham basically won it with 3 players, right? 3 players on week 4. Now let's take a look on week 5. So once again, week 5, Tottenham had 2 players, Arsenal had none. So for the first 2 weeks, we had 1 player in week 1, which is Saka, another player in week 2, which is Saliba. For the next 3 weeks, Tottenham had 3 players, 2 players inside the team of the week. So Tottenham's form has been better than us, one would say, in terms of their individual players and in terms of team collectively. Tottenham recent form has been better than ours. And we'll check into more stats to prove that point. And now these are the matches that we see. Arsenal played 5 matches, scoring 9 goals, conceding 4, assists 7. Tottenham now had 5 matches, scored 13 goals. Tottenham scored 4 more goals than we did. 4 more. That's a lot. When it comes down to the end of the season, when it might be determined, the league might be determined, the top 2 might be determined, the 4th place, 5th place might be determined on goal difference, those things are going to count. So Tottenham scored 4 more goals than us, but they conceded 1 more, right? But we see that they conceded 5 goals and we conceded 4, and they had 10 assists while we had 3. So they also had more assists than us. They scored more goals than us. If we conceded less than them, but they have 3 more assists than us. So once again, this stat, they won overall. The only thing we won is that we conceded 1 less goal, which is not a big deal in the grand scheme of things. If they scored 4 more goals more than us and they assist 3 more goals more than us, in the grand scheme of things, they won. They won that stat. So far, Tottenham has been winning each and every phase, each and every stats we've looked into so far. Tottenham has won. Let's go even deeper. We see ball possession. Arsenal had 66.2, accurate per game 558 at 88.8%. Our own half
Accurate in our own half, we have 239 at 93.4%. Accurate in opposition half, we have 324 at 82.2%. Now, and Tottenham on the other hand, their ball possession is 61%. We beat Tottenham in terms of ball possession, and we should, because that's the kind of gameplay we do. That's our game. Even though we see that Tottenham is trying to be a possession-based team now, we've been more consistent over the past few years at that. We've started that and been doing that for a longer period than Tottenham, so we should be leading in possession. Tottenham accurate per game is 515 at 87.8%. Once again, we've beat them with accurate per game. In ball possession in the own half accuracy, they had 231 at 92%. Once again, we beat them with that. So overall, we beat Tottenham. Opposition half, we have 324, while they have 288 at 81%. So overall, we beat Tottenham in ball possession, and we should, because that's our game. That's our main gameplay. So there's no surprise there. So I've seen that we only beat Tottenham in one area, and that's just ball possession. Now with this, we created 2 big chances. They created 2.8. We have 1.2 big chances missed. They had 1.4. So far, Tottenham's winning again. Shots there, we have 15.6. They had 20.2. And bear in mind, this is over a 5-game period, right? This is average over a 5-game period. Shots on target, we had 6. They had 7.8. Shots off target, we had 4.4. They had 6.4. Shots, block scoring attempt, we had 5.2, and they had 6. So let me just go out of the way for this one. Successful dribble, we had 9.4 and they had 14.4. Now once again, they won that. They won. Once again, that's another stats they won. And for me, all these stats so far, Tottenham has been in first place. All of them, apart from one, right? Apart from one stat, which is possession based, which that's the kind of team we are. They've won every single stat. Now let's look on the defensive side of things. We had 2 clean sheets. They had 2. There's 2. Goal conceded. We have an average on 0.8 goal conceded. They have an average at 1. Tackles per game. We have 13.4. They have 17.8. Interception per game. We have 7. They have 9.2. Clearance per game. We have 11. They have 17.2. Saves made, we had 1.2. They had 4. Ball recovery, we had 5.5. 55.2. They had 62.8. Errors leading to a shot, we had 1. Errors leading to a goal, we have 1. Errors leading to a shot, 0 for them. Errors leading to a goal, 0. Once again, for me, they won that. The only thing we won in this slide, the only thing is goals conceded. But when you take a look at it, even though it can be debated that we had a harder 5 matches than them, when you look at the average match in the matches, one might say that we have harder matches. Their ball recovery is 62 higher than ours. Their saves made is 4 higher than ours. Even though we conceded 4 goals and they conceded 5, they still made more save than us. So can we truly say that the 5 team and average that they played are weaker than the teams that we played against? We have to think hard about these stats, because once again, these stats show that they've been good in every transition, in every phase of the game, in defense, in attack, in midfield. They've been good throughout. They've been good. Now let's take a look on another defensive stat, which is the duels. So duels won, we won 43.8 at 49.7%. Ground duels won 32.6 at 51.9%. Aerial duels won 11.2 at 44.1%. Possession loss 122.6. In comparison, Tottenham duel won 53.8, which is a 50% higher than ours. Ground duels won 44.2, which is a 52.5% higher than ours. Aerial duels won 9.6, which is a 41.7. Now, we beat them in terms of that. Possession loss, 124.2. Once again, we beat them. So, this one is a draw, 2-2. They beat us in the duels one. Both ground duels and normal duels, they beat us. But when it comes down to aerial duels, it shows that we are more dominant in the air. It shows that we possession loss. We're a possession-based team, so I would expect us to win, losing the less possession. So when it comes down to area duels, that's one of the things that we should take advantage of. And I know Mikel Arteta is basically seeing these stats. If I can see, I know Mikel Arteta is seeing these things. So potentially we should be targeting these guys in set plays, set pieces, corners, free kicks. We should be targeting their boxes. No short corners for these guys, because we can see that we're more dominant than them in the air. So we should take advantage of these stats. And once again, we've got a keeper. Even though we're better than them in the air, in the defensive phase, we've got a keeper in Raya that is very good at claims. So I'm not worried about conceding from a corner or a free kick, any set pieces, any dead ball situation from them. I'm not concerned about that. But what I can see is that we can get a goal or two, basically on taking advantage of what we are better than them. It's not necessarily their weakness, is what we're better than them at. So when it comes down to the stats for the overall team, we see that Tottenham is in second place. We're in fourth place. And it's the same in terms of we've won 4, draw 1, they've won 4, draw 1. But, and I would say but, even though we're on 13 points each, their rating is 7.25 as a team. Our rating is 7.13 as a team. So their rating is higher than our rating. Once again, another stat they won. So far, I believe that Tottenham has won in each phases, in each stats, about 80% of the time. In total, they've won 80% of these stats. 80 to 90% of the stats. Concerning. This is concerning. Now, and there's another stat. Let's look into the last stats. Let's just go look into the last stats for now. The last stats, we see the best player. This is the average best player for the first 5 matches in terms of stats. Rodri with a 8.36. And we see that Rodri got a red card today. So for me, it's very good for us and it's very good for Tottenham potentially. Because Rodri is the best midfielder in the league right now. He's the best player in the league right now in terms of average rating. Kevin De Bruyne is out. So Rodri right now is having all the glory. And he's going to miss the next 3 matches potentially, depending on how long his suspension is. He might be missing in the next 3 matches. So he's not going to be up in these stats for much longer. So this gives us a potential. This gives Maddison, Odegaard and these players potential and all the rest of the players to overtake Rodri. However, and again, Man City hasn't lost the game yet. And this could put them in bad stead because we see De Bruyne is injured and now Rodri is out. This is their base of midfield. Now they're going to be after relying on the subpar players. Kevin Phillips. So James Maddison is number 2. Our player, the best player that we have, Bukayo Saka, in terms of stats, in terms of rating, is at number 10. Is at 7.66. Bukayo Saka that we've been raving up. Well, not most fans have been saying he's been poor for his own standards. But for the last match against PSV, we've been raving about him. Even though this don't account for PSV because that's Champions League. This is the Premier League stats. So Saka is in 10th place, our best player on this board. And we see James Maddison at 8.1. So this shows you that if you have the best player, if your player is up in the top 2, top 3, top 5, then, and depending on the positions, because we see that Sheffield United's keeper is up there. And we know that Sheffield United is going to be relegated. So if their keeper is up there, that shows you that the keeper's been keeping them in. They should be losing more matches. They should be conceding more matches. But their keeper has been on form. So that shows you that for their team, for their keeper to be up there, so is West Ham keeper is up there. But you have to look into West Ham has Jade Ward-Prowse in there as well as a midfielder. So even though they've got a keeper up there, they've got a midfielder up there. So you can't say it's because they've been keeping out lots of goals. They've been dictating midfield as well. That's why their midfielder is there. So once again, Tottenham won in this stat. So 90% of the stats, Tottenham won. 90. That's a brilliant return for Tottenham. Display for Tottenham. And I'm telling Arsenal fan, you have to be worried. I'm not going to be big chest tomorrow. My chest won't be coming out tomorrow as yet. So I potentially could see that the fact that I could say, for argument's sake, I could say that, listen, Arsenal football has been safe. You know, when you're cooking, right? You're cooking, and depending on the type of meat you're cooking, if you're cooking chicken, if you're cooking certain meat, it's quick. But if you're cooking certain red meat, beef, lamb, it will taste more succulent if you slow cooking. Cook it slow. Turn down the heat. Cook it slow. Let it marinate. Let it soak up the juices. Cook slow. That's how I see how we're playing right now, comparing to how we started last season. The way we started last season is like we started fast, high pace. It's like the fire was so high, it was burning the food. All the food, all the chicken, all the egg, the scrambled egg was burnt. And we were happy. We were so happy because what? We get to eat very quick. When the food is done quick, we get to eat quick. But we see now, we're taking long to get the food to eat because it's been slowly cooking. But when it's finished, it will be something that will be more pleasing to our taste buds. It will be something that will be more gratifying for the body. Right? So let's not get carried away. Compare last season start with this season start, saying that we started like a house on fire last season, and this season we started like we're in the retirement home. Slow, lethargic. But one thing I have to say, Tottenham will be a big test for us. This is our biggest test so far, and this is their biggest test so far. So come on, you Gunners. Let's get the 3 points. Let's carry on the brilliant start we've been having. Slowly does it. Slowly does it. City started slowly last season. They won it. They started quickly this season. Hopefully, they'll fall short just like we did last season. So catch you in the next video, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed, because we've got some brilliant content coming on this channel and you wouldn't want to miss out. Turn on your bell notification to be notified each and every time we launch a video. Catch you in the next one. Goodbye.